A new update just released, releasing the Grenadier Tower and adding some buffs to Missile Trooper. So we're gonna go in a game and I'm gonna be showcasing the new Grenadier Tower and the buffs that has been arranged to Missile Trooper. So we're just going to equip Farm and EDJ because they're both buff towers, and we'll go into Oil Rig to test these. So we're going to be testing these towers out on easy because obviously I don't know how good they are yet, so we don't know what they can solo. And we're just going to plop down the Grenadier Tower. So it's got 8 damage, 2.5 splash radius, 3 reload time, 8 range, and an overall DPS of 2.7. We're going to improve the reload time and range, and that's all we can get for now. So it's actually pretty good. The splash radius is nice because it's 2.5. We can take down 2 enemies at a time. It's got good damage as well, but we're gonna try to go for HE grenades, which gives more splash radius, and we'll see how they fare against these enemies. So as you can see, 2 at a time, but I think if we targeted it better, it could also improve the amount of enemies using the 3 splash radius to our advantage. So if we target last, let's see what happens. Yeah, you see it can take down 3 enemies at a time, which is nice. We're gonna upgrade it to Grenadier Knowledge, and we'll see 14 damage, 3.5 splash radius, only a 2 reload time now. We're gonna upgrade it to Extra Shrapnel, and 22 damage. Now this is pretty OP. I'm gonna be honest, because 3.5 splash radius with 11 DPS. That's pretty good for a splash damage tower. So we're gonna go ahead and farm so that we can get more of the more expensive upgrades. And we'll see how this does. So we're now able to afford sensor grenades. So we're gonna be testing out top path first. It just had slightly more damage, so it will be able to one-shot these heavies, which is nice. Let me just turn on speed boost. So the stale grenade upgrade doubles that, which is even better. Yeah, it seems to be doing really good with this crowd control, obviously, since the whole thing is to deal with crowd control, but we're really taking these down. 16 DPS still. And now we're up to 32 DPS, just improve the damage a bit more. Should two-shot these armoreds, which is nice. And I think the top path upgrade is just mostly damage, because the X13 flash is just almost triple the damage and a bit more range, which is pretty good. And as you can see, we're doing perfectly fine with this one Grenadier, so it's not making much difference of the Grenadier. The Grenadier's doing perfectly fine. Let me just sell this farm, completely useless. So the top path Grenadier is doing really well, as you can see. And we're just gonna keep on skipping, see how this works out, see how far this can get. So nice thing is that it has stealth detection, which I'm not sure if the bottom path does yet, but we'll see shortly. So this chained, the 3 shots chains, which is nice because you get multiple of them at once, and yeah, you can just easily cruise through with the Grenadier. Gotta say, so far it's doing really well. I like the tower so far. I think it's pretty good for only 2,500 actually. I'm not sure if that's completely accurate, but it's in the higher 2,000 range. And here we go. We've got maxed top path Grenadier, which is nice. It's got a very nice explosion effect. As you can see, kind of looks like a massive bomb has exploded, even though it's pretty small. Looks pretty advanced. Got some green and neon scheme going on the eye. It looks like it's got a red bowl cut, but yeah, you can tell that that is just its helmet. But it looks actually really ugly. I'm gonna be completely honest. Really ugly. Like look, really looks like a bowl cut. I'm gonna just putting it out there. Anyway, so now that we've gotten the top path Grenadier, we're gonna sell this and we're gonna test out bottom path. Okay, so it's got a slightly higher reload time, but it can stun enemies, which is nice. Not doing as well as the top path. I'm going to be completely honest. I think the top path would have done a lot better here, but you know, can't do much about that. We're gonna have to place the top path down just so that we don't die. We still might, though. Yeah, it's really not doing so great. We had to place a top path, but it does shock for half a second, which is you know, that's cool. You know, good for it. But I'm gonna be honest. Unless this stacks, I don't think it's pretty that good. We're just gonna keep on going. See how this works. I mean, 225 damage is good, but it has a max target hit, and it's got a slower cooldown, so, you know, like, we're, like, dying right now because of it, so, I'm not exactly sure how good it is. But, anyways, the bottom path is kind of carrying, um, just damage-wise, but the bottom path is more expensive. It's got a kind of blue scheme versus the bright red or reddish orange scheme that's got the top path. So we'll see how good it does when it's maxed out. We'll just have to wait for this. We're almost there anyways. So we've got the full shock trooper. We're just gonna sell this to really see its full potential. And okay, so it's doing pretty good. One problem is that it can't see stealths, so um, we're just gonna have to place one like back here so that it doesn't affect the shock trooper. But I'd say overall it's doing pretty good. It sure stuns. Um, it's not like that great. It has the exact same DPS, slightly higher splash radius, more damage, slower reload time. No, one more range actually, and yeah, obviously it can stun. And wow, we died. So yeah, I probably should have defended against that, but we're gonna try that one more time, see how it is the bottom path. So we're back in the lobby now. We're gonna do oil rig again, and we're just gonna see how bottom path does on its own. And we're also gonna be covering a bit more of the missile trooper. And yeah, we'll see how the missile trooper actually does now. It's MRL. The bottom path is the path that's been mostly updated. The base has slightly more splash radius, and I think that's it. Oh, screw it. We're just going for Moon Outpost. And so we'll see how good it is. And as you can see, the Grenadiers right here. Right, I think slightly more expensive than Barracks. And yeah, it's good. It's pretty good for now. I think it's worth it. I'm not entirely sure. I probably should have invested and tried to survive more than actually just showcasing. So we'll see how long the Grenadiers can survive. Like just soloing, Grenadier only. I think they probably will be able to solo elite, but we'll see. We'll see about that. It might be close. I'm not entirely sure about like what's gonna how it's gonna fare up against that. So yeah, we got zombies. Obviously, we're gonna easily do the first wave. We can skip that. Then we upgraded a little bit. As you can see, it's kind of really just crushing them. No difficulty at all. Honestly, I think the Grenadier is a really good starter tower just because of its cheap, has good splash radius, and can one-shot the zombies and easy and elite. So that's nice. But when it's 2-1, it can also one-shot the enemies in intermediate, so that's also nice. And yeah, it's got a decent range, so I'm not sure. I think it might be integrated into a lot of strats just because of how cheap and effective it is, because of its bigger range and its splash radius. But we'll see, because you know it's not exactly as easy to like place and manage a shotgunner because of the fact that it doesn't deal well with speedies, even though it just literally obliterated all those speedies. They did say that it does do pretty well against, or it can stun like a fast revived abominations. So we'll have to test if it can actually do anything good against them, but we'll see. We'll have to test that in intermediate because of the fact that they don't have them in easy. But as you can see, yeah, we're doing fantastic. It's easily soloing, and we don't really have to do much. And yeah, so we're doing well so far. Grenadier is absolutely like farming them. It's not really that hard though because it's easy mode, so honestly can't really say that much since, Ranger would probably do maybe just as well. I'm not entirely sure. Haven't used Ranger in forever, but yeah, so it keeps going. It's good for crowd control, not cloud control. That'd be pretty OP. Changing the just removes the ozone and burns literally every zombie alive. That'd be nice. That'd be a cool update. But anyways, yeah, because it has crowd control and infinite pierce or infinite max hit enemies, it's doing really well against all of the enemies where there's tons of waves, and it also lets me skip a lot since I don't have to worry about tons of enemies coming at once. I'd say for the price it's at, I think it's a really good tower. It's got high damage. The top path, fairly cheap, cheaper than the Cairo Gunner. But I'm not entirely sure how good the stun explosive is gonna be. You're gonna need to use multiple. I'm gonna assume to stun fast enemies for a good amount of time. That would actually help. So luckily, you're gonna need to use top path to hit stealth because bottom path does not have stealth, I'm pretty sure. And that's fine though because top path, I think personally so far is better for just damage and that it can hit like infinite enemies. Like it's not lowered to like 4 or 5 max hit enemies. It's actually can just hit as many enemies as it can. So that's nice. And yeah, they keep going. And we're at wave 13 already. We've had no issue easily cruising through this. We're about to get the X13 flash. We'll see how this fares against abominations though, because it's mainly splash radius, even though it has a pretty good DPS. So now that we've got a top path, we're gonna try to get a bottom path to see how well they do against actually stunning fast enemies like abominations or in this match and revived abominations in other matches. But so far it looks like this. Both have bowl cuts, except just basically. I don't like the bowl. Basically, they have a bowl helmet on their head, and it's so flat. I don't like that. It just no, no thanks. Don't like it. Anyways, the duration is basically useless on the 2-3 Grenadier because of it's 0.25 seconds. It's a quarter of a second. That's not gonna help you beat the freaking revived abominations. But still, it's got a lot of damage. But they both have the same DPS, and one is just more expensive in stuns, basically, and doesn't have stealth, so and has slightly more splash radius, small stuff like that, basically. I'm not sure how we're gonna do against like the abominations, but we don't have them. We don't have to deal with them yet, so it's not really much of a worry. We're gonna get actually another try to get a 2-4, another 2-4. We'll see how that works out. So yeah, luckily it isn't. It yeah, it can basically perma-stun. I'm gonna assume if you get enough of these. I think maybe the last upgrade's kind of useless since it only increases it to 1 second for like triple the amount of money you've already spent to get half a second. So I'd say you should basically just spam a bunch of 2-4s for cost efficiency wise, but you know, doesn't really matter that much. It's you can buy the top, like the very last upgrade, just for more damage if you'd like. Also hits more enemies and has slightly more range, but that's not gonna do. It's not gonna affect that much, so it's not gonna do that much of a factor in when you're actually playing. So yeah, I think I think it's pretty good if you get multiple 2-4s. As you can see, as long as all the Grenadiers like basically shoot at different times, I think it could perma-stun. You just need to get it. You basically just need 4 2-4 Grenadiers. No, sorry. Yeah, 4 2-4 Grenadiers to perma-stun, but they all need to shoot at the exact perfect time. So you're gonna need to place them in different spots because otherwise they'll all shoot at around the same time if it's a fast enemy rushing in. And that just wastes a bunch, but yeah, as you can see, it slows them down quite a bit, but just because of the factor that these will all shoot at the same time and you have to place them in different spots, you'd kind of need to obviously get them in different spots so that they shoot at different times. And you see, this is nice. This is basically what it's pretty good. I honestly think Cairo, but more damage. Cairo, but more damage and splash radius, basically. And but it doesn't actually like freezing is not its primary intent. So I think we'll be fine. I don't know about the stealth abominations. We might die on those, so I'm gonna have to get a couple more top paths. Honestly, top path is a lot more value for the amount of money you spend on it. But if you really care about um like stunning for a second that much, you know, go ahead. You do you, I'll do me. We won't do each other, but you know, we're doing fine. Don't know why this one is ball. Oh yeah, because this is the max one. What am I even saying? Anyways, yeah, so this is the top path is way better for crowd control, I'd say, because it doesn't have a cap on how many enemies it can hit at a time. Like for this wave, because of the excessive amount of these Grenadiers, it's fine, but like the top path Grenadiers are, I think, carrying on killing a lot more enemies at once. So, yeah, we're gonna probably max a couple of these just to get those extra boosts, but, as you can see, they don't do too well, like, just for straight up DPS. Obviously, their main thing is actually crowd control, because throwing grenades doesn't do that much damage. I'm not entirely sure if it's gonna be able to stun a boss. I don't think it will. I don't even know if it's gonna be able to kill the boss. But, we'll see pretty soon. Probably should have got a DJ quite a while ago, but, yeah, it's like not doing anything. We're probably gonna try to sell all these and get something with higher DPS, because otherwise we're definitely gonna die. I don't even know if we're gonna live like now, even with like the extra damage. But we'll see pretty soon. And yep, we're going to die. It obliterates all crowd control, but its DPS isn't enough to like do a good amount of damage. And yeah, as you see, really did not cook. Um, did not saute at all. Um, but you know, it was fine. It stunned pretty well. If you got a good number of them, but it was kind of expensive for the same effect that one bottom path Cairo could do. So honestly, I think it's a good tower, but I don't think it's like fantastic for the stun. I think the stun needs to be buffed, and I mean 1 second, it's fine, but paying that much, you may as well just get a bunch of top paths and for stealth detection, and then get one bottom path Cairo blaster, because literally does the same thing but better. Then again, some things are freeze immune, and I don't think they'd be stun immune, so that's nice. But honestly, it was all right. I don't think it was. I don't think it's like it was as good as Barack's when it came out. Don't think it needs to be nerfed. Honestly, think the bottom path has to be buffed. But aside from that, I think that it's a pretty good tower for crowd control. Just kind of a cheaper missile trooper alternative. And I think that's it. So that's basically the Grenadier, and that's me showcasing it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.